Hey guys, what's up? This is Mel, and I'm back to talk about Arrow, this time episode 412, titled Unchained, which premiered Wednesday, February 3rd, 2016 on the CW. And guys, quick reminder, I have not read any of the comics, so all my thoughts, theories, and observations of the show and predictions come directly from what I see on the screen. If I've looked something up, then I will tell you guys for sure. So, let's get started. 10-minute clock, as always, and let's begin. What is something new that we learned in this episode? Well, this episode basically focuses around a few robberies that were occurring involving certain components being stolen to be put together to create this electronic nuke. And as Felicity puts it, has the potential of melting the internet or destroying the city by basically destroying the electrical grid around it. So there's that. I'm thinking more of like the pulse that was introduced in the TV show Dark Angel back in 2000. So I'm thinking more along of that, and that could devastate the city. So that's the focus around it. And another side thing that we deal with is Thea's bloodlust. We haven't seen it occur in a while, but because of that, Thea's life basically takes a toll for the worse, and we basically learn that because Thea isn't taking life, she's not killing anybody, therefore the life is being taken away from her. Since whatever happened in the Lazarus pit, it's basically a life for a life type thing. So basically, in a sense, if you want to think about it, is that when when Thea kills, she's taking the life of her victim and she's putting it into herself, which is keeping her alive. But because she's not taking a life, then the life that is inside her, keeping her alive, is being released, therefore resulting in her slowly dying. At one point, her wound that Ra's al Ghul had caused, it was like in her chest, very close to the heart, was reopening and causing her breathing problems and coughing fits and stuff like that. So it passed for a brief moment, but the condition's so bad to a point that the episode ends with Thea in a coma. So it really comes down to either Thea taking a life to save her own or having the life drained from her because she's not doing what the bloodlust wants. So there's that. New development is the fact that we learn the name of Damien Darhk's wife, and that is Ruve Adams, and that is because she announced that she is running against Oliver in the mayoral campaign. And she actually confirms that she is Damien Darhk's wife when the Green Arrow goes and confronts her and tries to get a meeting with Damien Darhk in order to help Thea. But Oliver doesn't make that meeting, which is besides the point at the moment. He didn't make the meeting because it was against Thea's wishes. I'll just leave it at that. Another thing is that we saw many familiar faces return today. First one being Roy Harper. He was actually the thief behind the robberies only because a man by the name of the Calculator was blackmailing Roy to steal all these components for him. Because if he didn't do it, he was going to out everybody that he's Roy Harper, therefore bring the spotlight of who the Arrow is back to Oliver, since Roy Harper being declared as the Arrow was then killed and all that jazz and stuff. Another familiar face is the fact that we see Malcolm, and that's because he comes back to Thea's side when her health plummets. So that's the reason why we see him. Another familiar face that returns is Nisa Al Ghul, and the last we saw her was when she destroyed the Lazarus pit, which resulted in her being imprisoned back in Neda Parbat. She actually escapes and travels to Japan to find this lotus flower, and while she's in Japan, she stumbles upon another familiar face, a guardian of the lotus, and that is Tatsu. So they engage in some sword fighting, only for Nisa to tell Tatsu why she needs the lotus flower and why it's connected to Oliver Queen. So, not sure if Tatsu actually agrees to help. I'm assuming she does, since Nisa does arrive in Star City with the lotus for Oliver. So, I'm assuming. Another familiar face, was a total surprise, was Shadow. And she appears in the flashbacks for Oliver as a hallucination. So, that was completely surprising. For some reason, I thought when she shot an arrow into Ryder, I thought that was happening in real life. But that was before they revealed that it was Shadow. So I thought he actually died in that moment. But nope. Oliver's hallucinating from all the injuries he was taking. Sorry for the bit slurred speech. I may be talking too fast. I do apologize for that. So there's that. So that's 2, 4, 5 familiar faces that return in one episode. That's pretty surprising for sure. Okay, so moving on. Most shocking moment of the episode has to be the fact for me was the identity of the calculator. Now, we don't get an actual name, but at the very end, Felicity calls him Dad. That's right, the calculator is actually Felicity Smoke's father. The calculator is also Roy's blackmailer. And yeah, because like the whole time when Felicity was doing her presentation for Palmer Tech, we see Curtis and Oliver in the audience with all the other board members or investors and stuff like that, which is understandable since Curtis is the creator and Oliver is her fiance. But then we see the calculator, no name yet for him, sitting beside Oliver and being all smiley and clapping, and is like, and I was thinking the whole time, like, did he find out Felicity's name since they were having this hacking showdown between the two of them? Like, did he find out her name? Did he figure out who she was? So I was a little bit nervous about that. But then when he showed up by her side after Oliver leaves, and she just looks up at him stunned, I thought she knew that he was the calculator. But instead, it turns out that he's her father. Is like, that blew my mind. I mean, I knew her father was appearing at some point in the episode, or not in the episode, at some point in the season, but I wasn't expecting it to be this episode. I wasn't expecting him to be the villain that she was squaring off against. I thought her father was going to be coming in like Donna Smoke originally came in, just to visit her daughter and stuff like that. So it blew my mind for sure. So top 3 favorite moments. I'll move on straight to that. First one has to be Roy's return. I missed Roy. I'm glad he's back. I'm glad to see that he's alive still. And it was great. It was great to see him get back into the swing of things with the team, him in his Arsenal suit, and then to have him go and take care of Thea for a bit and have them have this very emotional goodbye where they're saying, where she wants him to have a normal life, the best out of a normal life, to get married, have kids, and just be happy. And the fact that he wishes that he can do all that stuff with her broke my heart. Love Roy for sure. I miss him. And it was just a great episode to see him just come back and be part of the team again. So I hope he comes back again soon. I really do, if he can't stay in town, which I want him to stay in town for. But it makes sense why he can't. And also with Roy, though, there's a few Diggle actually made a reference to the Flash, saying, just because you're wearing red doesn't make you the Flash. Because Roy said that he was going to outrun a bomb. So that was another thing I liked, the fact that they brought in the Flash like that. So another favorite moment has to be Felicity and Curtis Holt. Now, we haven't seen Curtis Holt in a while, since like maybe the Christmas party, but he wasn't featured a lot. It was just in that moment. But I really like in the episode where he's 14 Felicity, and he actually tells her, he sees these 2 versions of her. Earlier, he saw a version of her that doubts herself because of the wheelchair that she's in, and then he sees the Felicity that's all badass, taking charge and moving around in the wheelchair as if she's been doing it for a very long time and not for like a month or so. So it was very 2 distinct versions of her. I was thinking more along of Citizen Felicity and Arrow Felicity type thing, because when she was more take charge on a mission, in control of the wheelchair, she was in saving the world, I'm on Team Arrow type of mindset. So I really liked when Curtis brought that up to her and said that there are 2 different Felicities. You need to bring the second Felicity to the board meeting, because that is who you truly are. Because the first Felicity is a version that doubts herself, and no one wants to doubt themselves. So I really love the support that Curtis shows Felicity, and it's just great to see. I definitely missed that friendship between them, and I'm glad it was included. Okay, next favorite moment has to be the whole showdown between Felicity and the calculator. The last time we saw her have a nemesis was back on The Flash in episode 118, when she had a computer nemesis. And this time we actually saw her facing off against someone with her own skill and expertise, maybe possibly surpassing it. And now when I'm thinking back on it, and the fact that it was actually her father she was going up against, he definitely taught her well, and it seemed like she learned from the best for sure. And yeah, they must have had fun picking each other's brains when she was young before he left. So that was crazy. But I did like the whole gloating dynamic between them, how they're trying to one-up each other and everything. That was great. Even though it shouldn't have a villain as a favorite moment. So top 3 peeved moments, and my timer goes off. So close. Okay, peeved moment, only one. The fact that Roy's leaving town. I don't want him to leave town. I'll just leave it at that. Next part, what will I remember most about this episode? The fact that Roy returns. I'll leave it at that. I love Roy. Wish he'd stay. So random questions. Only have a few, but first one. It has me confused. It has to do with the flashbacks, but if Oliver was hallucinating when he got that stone with the inscriptions on them from Shadow, then how does he have it in reality when he's awake from his injuries? I don't get how he can get something in his hallucinations and then actually have it in his possession in reality. How does that work? Or is that another stint of magic that we're unaware of that happened? Let me know in the comments below if you have a theory about that. Next question. Is it possible that Thea is the one in that grave in a few months from now in those flash forwards? I'm thinking it is, because they seem to set it up for that route in this episode, but it's meant to be 4 months from now, maybe 3.5 months from now. So is she going to last that long? Is it misdirecting us or something? I don't know. But yeah, so last question. Is there a chance that the calculator, Felicity's father, knew that he was battling against his daughter during those hacking show-offs between them? And why the hell is he back? And why does he want to destroy the city? I mean, I can't really fathom the fact that Felicity's father is a villain when she's being a hero. But then again, it kind of parallels the fact that Oliver is who he is, and then his father was the one who kind of started the undertaking, if that makes sense. But yeah, definitely interested about what kind of dynamic Felicity has with her estranged father, who seems to have some massive hacking skills of his own. Okay, so moving on. Predictions. Based off the promo for episode 413, there seems to be a standoff or a showdown between Oliver and Malcolm. And apparently it's because Nisa is assisting that Malcolm be killed, and in return she'll give Oliver the lotus flower that he needs to save Thea. So it seems like a whole League of Assassins politics thing going on there, and it seems like Oliver may go through with it or even think about it just to save Thea. So there's going to be that. Predictions overall, though, maybe Felicity's going to get some answers from her father, maybe about why he left, or why he's been gone for so long, or why he's here now. So there's that. Another prediction is that stone with the inscriptions on it that Oliver got or had gotten from Shadow in his flashbacks, in the hallucinations in his flashbacks, I should say. I think it's going to pop up again, not just in the flashback, but I think it's going to pop up again in the present day. I don't remember it popping up in past episodes in the present day, so maybe it's connected somehow, or I don't know. I think we're going to see it again for sure. And that's about it. So what did you guys think of the episode? Was there anything particular that you liked? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear about it. Let's keep this conversation going and grow this viewership for sure. Sorry if I'm tongue-tied, but almost done. But don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and check out my other videos if you haven't done so already. And yeah, if you want any more news and information about Arrow, check out my Tumblr page. All the links for that will be down below. I reblog episode synopses, GIFs, quotes, promos, web clips, all of that, and as well as news. And speaking of news, though, it was announced today that there is going to be an official crossover between Supergirl and The Flash. Apparently Grant Gustin, who plays Barry, is supposed to appear in National City, which is Supergirl. So because the Flash is part of the Arrow universe, I thought I'd share that bit of news in this video. Not sure how they're going to connect the two. I read an article stating that they might make Supergirl's world as like an Earth 3 or something, because in the Flash's world and in the Arrow's world right now, Barry is the fastest man alive, and I'm pretty sure that they don't acknowledge Superman. So there's that, but that's supposed to happen in March, so keep your eyes open for that. And who knows, if we get a crossover with Flash and Supergirl, maybe we'll get one with Arrow and Supergirl as well. Who knows? You never know, but it's a start. So I'm excited for that. And yeah, so that's about it. I covered everything else. And yeah, so thank you guys for watching. I truly appreciate it. I hope you come back next week to see what I have to say for the next episode. But until then, this is Mel wishing you all a great day, great week, wherever you are. And until next time, bye for now.